This is your host Mubaraka, and I welcome you all on behalf of iRobokid, an educational institute assisting schools in their STEM education journey for a decade now. We have recently launched a new platform called Pillars and Posts, through which we intend to expose, bring to the forefront the silent pillars of our education system and give them the righteous credit and recognition for their contribution to the world of education. So with regards to that, here we are again with yet another episode and with another eminent personality. So friends, we all would agree that in the last 18 months, technology has totally revolutionized the way we live, not only across the globe, but in India and towards the most rural areas too. Now, how this change has affected education, both teaching and learning, is the point of discussion today. And to answer these questions, we have with us today Ms Kavita Sanghvi. Hello madam, good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having us here today, and it's really a pleasure and honor for me to share this space with you. So thank you so much for coming. So Ms Kavita holds a master in physics, a master in education degree from Havard in education leadership, coupled with master in philosophy of education. And in spite of that, she feels her bucket is still not full, and she is on a perpetual journey to learn more and keep adding to her skills, to her knowledge through various courses, seminars, etc. So as far as awards are concerned, she is received various awards for physics and environment projects. She was enlisted as the top 50 global teacher 2016-17, a curriculum developer, Teach SDGs ambassador, Scientific ambassador, British Council accredited teacher trainer, global winner for the School Enterprise Challenge. Received recognition also by the World Education Summit 2016 for becoming enthusiastic about math and science project as well. Wow, that's truly remarkable. I mean, the list was so long. So to start with, also she's currently the principal at CNMS school, and I think you started your journey also here. And
yes.
So let's start. I think firstly, since you have such a remarkable achievement and profile on you, we would be intrigued to know your journey. What kindled the spark in you to become an educator? What are the challenges that you must have faced in this journey? Something that you can share with us.
So, I guess the journey has been since a very long time, because you have three sisters, and I remember teaching my younger sisters, and that's where I realized that I had this knack of teaching. And then I went on to do my MSc at that time, and then later on to do my B.Ed and M.Ed. And while I was doing my education, I was supporting myself through tuitions. So that's how I realized that I was pretty good with students. And then went on to do my, obviously I joined in CNMS in 2001 as a teacher. 2003 I was promoted as coordinator. 2008 I moved out because my son came into the school. And I didn't want, I had this feeling that the mother and son should not be in the same school.
Yeah, right.
So I moved out in 2009. I joined Metro Shikha Vidyalaya as a vice principal, moving to principal.
Okay.
And here I had the ICC curriculum, there I had the international curriculum. After being there, and when my son moved out of 10th standard year, I came back.
Oh wow! It's an interesting journey. Right from teaching our sisters to joining a school, moving back out, coming. That only shows how much the school valued you to, they wanted you back.
And the value school was so much of value to me.
Yeah, exactly. Vice versa.
Both ways.
Yeah. So that's interesting. And so, like you mentioned, you started in 2001. Today we are at 2021. So it's like been 2 decades. And in these 2 decades, you have had the privilege to experience teaching and learning without technology, when in those days it was not. And today, where technology has become an integral part of teaching and learning both. So what would you find? What is the difference, or what are the pros, cons on both the sides?
So I remember earlier we used to, cyclostyle those papers, those worksheets, and then give it to the students. And pen drive was something new for us. Or you have a pen drive and you used to hold it across. And now it's like your mobile has become everything to you. Your laptop, everything is, everywhere. Education is everywhere. It's not just stuck in the school, but it is from home also you're taking classes.
Yes.
So that is the difference. That is, earlier the school building was where you conducted your classes. Now you can conduct it from any part of the world.
Right.
So we are mobile in every single way. And another thing that I found with technology is that you can reach anyone, anytime. So the world is becoming a global village.
Right.
We recently had Skype classrooms with, not Skype, we had this MS Teams classroom with a school in Scotland recently, and we're doing a partnership with them across the entire year.
Wow.
So that is how technology has supported us. It's made my students feel more collaborative, communicative. I think it's been a boon.
Oh.
It's been a boon completely, and I'm really utilizing it maximum to ensure that I can connect with teachers here and I can connect with teachers across the world.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a good leap, considering the current times to be in pace with what's happening.
Exactly, and also I noticed that it's 20 years. It has moved from a teacher-centric class to a student-centric class. So your students are running things now.
Right.
And that is amazing, and especially with this last 2 years, my students have told me, ma'am, switch on this, do this will work better.
I know. Even for me, my son knows my mobile features better than I do.
Exactly, so they tell us, okay,
Yeah.
if you're stuck here, we will do this for you.
Exactly.
So I think we really learn now.
Yeah. So I think that's also because these children are born in the era of technology. I mean, they have seen more technology than we have.
Exactly.
So great. So again, ma'am, speaking about change, like you already mentioned, like in 20 years, whatever change we've seen, but recently we've seen a shift in the world of education that also in the NEP, okay, there is focus on skill-based learning and particularly, emphasis on coding and technology. So how do you think skill-based learning, practical learning, where will it come in? How you all have implemented, or what is the advantage of STEM education that NEP has enforced will bring into schools?
So skill-based learning is very, very extremely crucial. In fact, the World Economic Forum says that a couple of jobs are going to be moving out. So I was just looking at the thing across. It is said around 75 million jobs are going to get lost, but another 133 million jobs are going to be created because of technology.
Wow.
So that means you're going to have a surplus of 58 million jobs, and that's amazing.
Exactly.
So in that, if you want these couple of jobs, where they're going to be artificial intelligence, they're going to be a virtual reality, augmented reality, Internet of Things, all this is going to be the driving. You also have a classical model where you will require a sales representative, your marketing people, even your teaching executives. So there is going to be a balance of these two. So now we know that we are going to have 58 million surplus jobs because of technology. So what are the skills that you require? Obviously, very much so digital skills. Then also how to work on it and safeguard it. So those kind of security also jobs are going to require. Now when you have digital, you require some emotional balance also. So emotional intelligence is something another looking forward to. So there are so many things that we need to work on. Also it has been told by OECD that the entire thing, there's going to be no line between a school and outside world. It's going to get blurred.
Okay.
So when it's going to get blurred, then more of the education is going to be on solving real life problems and using technology for that. So if that is all of that is required in the future, then STEM is a key. Because when you speak about all of these things that are coming across, it is STEM. So STEM skills are so important and paramount. Now how do we go about it in our school? We have a STEM based curriculum from first standard to 8th standard. We've created our own curriculum called as Global Outlook. So if I were to give you an example, if I ask you, look at here and tell me what is the flooring out here. Okay, so then the student goes and researches on the type of flooring across different schools, at homes, and why we have the kind of flooring. So why on the ground you have concrete, and why out here you have tiles, why somewhere you have music rooms, you have some carpets cushioned. So therefore you learn about the properties of it, and then you go and then redesign your own home based on environmentally things. So you have come up with different topics you've done. So these are how we are building our STEM skills. We also have coding in our school from 1st to 8th standard mandatory. We started in 2019 itself.
Oh, wonderful. So you were already fast ahead.
Already before that. And in fact, our preschool also we started basic coding. For example, if I am sitting here and I have to reach somebody there, then what are the steps I will take? So 2 steps forward and then right and all that. So that is a simple basic coding that we are teaching students.
Wonderful.
So this is how we are going ahead with STEM. And obviously we have our students participate in all STEM competitions. We have something 1 week per year. We have high STEAM.
Okay.
High STEAM is a combination of history with STEAM. Because nothing happens without knowing the history of it.
Perfect.
And we want the students to appreciate the history behind every single STEM product, model or phenomena.
Wow.
So we created, like this year, we had Space and Beyond. So Space and Beyond also know the history. Satellites also know the history of satellites. All this was done on a virtual platform. Like students came up and created their own newsletters. We collaborated with ISRO, and ISRO scientists all discussed and showed their work out there. So this is how we promote STEM in a big way, and we're also part of Scientix group.
Right.
So as a scientist ambassador,
yeah.
all our STEM work is also shared with teachers across Europe.
Wow.
And we also take the research work of scientists and do it here. So we had nature-based solution, one research, which CNM school took up. And that research findings were shared with us, with scientists at Europe, where they analyzed how Indian students are faring vis-a-vis with other students.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's so remarkable. I mean, a lot of things like inquiry-based learning, global picture, so many, like while you were speaking, so many skills come into being, and the child learns collaboration, communication, leadership skills. I mean, it's endless what STEM can teach you, and so many skills which will be required for the future. In fact, if I would have to say, like these days, computer skills is such a must. I mean, even if you're just sitting at home, it's not that you need to have a technical job. Similarly, I feel that's where STEM is leading to, where STEM skills will be a must, irrespective of the careers that you choose. I mean.
Exactly.
Recently, I saw a 3D print of a nail art.
Oh wow!
So you select your design, you select your colors, you just put your finger in, and your finger gets printed.
So everything is going to become that way. So again, as somebody said, there'll be the house of 3D, using the 3D design, and all that.
There's a video on that.
Exactly. So that is how our life is going to be in the future. So let's just embrace it completely.
I know, exactly. Let's prepare the children. As you already said, there are 58 million jobs which are going to be created, and 75% of them will be in the STEM industry. So,
yes.
And
more of even though we choose STEM careers, we don't have the skills for it. So what we need to really prepare our students are the skills.
Skills, exactly. Yeah. So that's where NEP and the skill-based learning also comes into picture. Wonderful. So now moving on, there are certain myths about STEM, like STEM is for boys, or STEM education is costly. It's not a subject which can be compulsory subject, and stuff like that. So what is your take on that?
That is the complete thing that I want to work on, because I'm a STEM person in and out,
Yeah, I can see that.
So I just feel that you cannot categorize STEM as boys and girls, because anything that the STEM, if you go to the kitchen, if you see the kitchen is a woman's, people have this idea, then that's nothing but STEM.
Yeah.
So if that is STEM completely, then the woman is doing more of STEM than the men.
Wow, that's a wonderful analogy actually.
Okay, so I would say that every single aspect of life is STEM. So what we have done in our school, we have taken lessons like as cleaning your utensils, shine your utensils, where we make students actually use different kind of products to clean the utensils and check out what is required. So that boys and girls both clean. Okay. So they understand it's for both. It's not that it's a girl's job.
Right.
We have another topic called laundry, where again students come take their clothes and they categorize the clothes. Again we make them segregate and clean their clothes and all that, wash their clothes. Again they realize laundry is not a girl's job, it's both their jobs. So the topics like this, we're trying to break the gender stereotype.
Wow.
That is what we are working on, because STEM is for everybody.
Everyone to experience.
And today if you want to be successful in life, if you don't know the basic science, because science teaches you problem solving and logical thinking,
right,
then you're going to be lost somewhere. So I feel that this aspect and attributes of STEM has to be taken by everybody, embraced by everybody.
Perfect.
So cannot be, and I'm telling everybody who's watching this, if you are in the kitchen, you are more STEM oriented than anybody else.
That's wonderful for women to hear, and young girls also. Wonderful. In addition, ma'am, so I can see a lot of practical learning in various different angles and very different ways. But we would like to applaud your and the school efforts to create environment-sensitive adults, where through your climate action project, I guess that is also a wonderful thing that we can talk about. This only shows, the holistic learning that you, under your leadership, the children are experiencing. So that's also wonderful.
Thank you so much, because it is important. I mean, recently NASA said by 2100, Mumbai might not be existing.
Right.
So if this is the case, then what about our children and grandchildren? I mean, isn't it something we leave something for them and go? So we have taken up climate action in a very big way in CLM school. We're planting trees, that's obviously everybody's doing.
Yeah.
We have our own school business of collecting old bed sheets and dupattas and making cotton bags. And also when we're creating masks out of any 1 meter cloth people have left over in any places, we just collect it and make masks.
So reuse, recycle, all that.
And now we're starting a new drive which we want everybody to join in. We're collecting sachets. Because when you call for any kind of Swiggy or Zomato, you get the small sachets.
Yes.
Now that just goes into waste, that's just plastic accumulated.
Right.
So we're collecting the sachet, we've tied up with a NGO RUR.
Right.
And we're going to be recycling it.
Oh.
And then making a product out of it. So they understand that, as far as possible, go in for refills, but don't go in for small
use.
One-time use. Yes.
Wonderful. So we can see that, there is growth, there is understanding in all different angles at CNS. And the children are blessed to have such leaders. Lastly, ma'am, so women like you are obviously role models for young children and young minds who dare to dream big. So what is your advice for so many children that will be watching this interview of yours?
So I have just broken up in an acronym. I've called it as novel.
Wow.
So N means first create a large network of people who are going to be standing beside you, because nothing can be done individually. Everything has to be a team effort.
Right.
O means be very, very optimistic. Just completely fill yourself with a lot of positive thoughts.
Yes.
That is what I'm looking about. V is have a vision which is going to be world embracing. Just don't have a vision of myself. Have a vision where I'm going to be working globally. I'm going to be a global leader. I'm going to be a global supporter. That is what we are looking at. E is keep evolving. Don't be complacent at all. Every time you have to learn.
Call yourself ever learning phase where you are continuously learning, lifelong learner.
Yeah. And the last L is love yourself. Because when you love yourself, the rest of the world will love you. So this is what I want to tell the entire generation. This is a novel, and I hope you do follow it. And if you do, you will always be a successful, at least happy person.
That's a wonderful advice. So I think on this wonderful advice and note, we will end the discussion here. Is there anything else that, ma'am, you would like to mention, or anything that we've not covered which was on your mind? You can.
No, I just feel that it is past 2 years has been difficult for the teachers, has been difficult for the students and the parent community. But as I said of novel, just be very optimistic, because what we would have never gained in those digitally savvy would have been in those years to come, we've now become.
In only 2 years.
And we've learned to now adapt. So the adaptive thinking is what we have developed. So I think every kind of challenge that comes in is something to relish, because we learn. It just
take it as an opportunity to learn more.
Yeah, it grooves you so much more better.
More.
So just what I'm saying is that no matter what adversity comes in, convert it into an opportunity.
Perfect. Thank you, ma'am. That was really insightful, enriching. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.